Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the states of New Mexico and Hawaii. This is our preview of all the properties going live on the website for tomorrow, Friday, April 10th, 2020. I will have you know this is my second take because I didn't have the microphone on the last one, like a dummy. Whatever the case, I want to start off by thanking all the people who bought land from us this past week. That list includes Stephen and Daniel, both of whom bought property from us in Taos County. James, who picked up that large lot that we had in Valencia County in Highland Meadows. And Tom and Carolyn, who did it again, swooped in, scooped it up within mere hours of the listing going live on the YouTube. They bought that Cibola County property from us last week. This is, I think, 2 weeks in a row that they've done that. I will just have you guys know that property generated a lot of interest, a shocking amount of interest as far as I'm concerned. Second highest volume of traffic we've ever had to the website, by a lot, by the way. And phone calls, emails, crazy amount of attention, referrals from YouTube, referrals from the land listing sites, etc. I'm going to presume that had something to do with the free truck and RV that were on the property and the tool shed, but on the off chance that it wasn't, on the off chance that your interest was piqued simply because it was in a place where there were essentially no rules and regulations in a nice forested area. Just an FYI, we will have more lots coming in that area in the weeks and months to come, etc. Whatever the case, we want to thank all those people who bought land from us this past week. It's particularly reassuring during these times where the economy is not great. So much appreciated. Additionally, I want to thank all the people who subscribed to the channel this week. We are rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers on the channel. The snowball effect is occurring, people. So to all the new people there, Melsh S, Dana ML, Dana, who's bought some land from us in the past. Welcome back, Dana. Eileen P, C Gray, and GG2U, thank you and welcome. Hope you find something you're interested in. So this week we have not one, not two, not three, but four, quattro new properties premiering on the website. All of them, here's the sales pitch, guys. No regs, no rules, no HOAs, no dues. You guys like properties where there are no rules. You can go out there, do whatever you want. Park an RV for indiscriminate periods of time, build a whatever, so on and so forth. Just go out and camp. A lot of places in New Mexico don't allow you to do that. Certainly places with HOAs with onerous restrictions. I know after X years of doing this job to avoid those properties. So I'm making an effort to buy more of those types of lots that you guys like, the kind with no zoning restrictions and such. So first off is, boom, Cibola County, where we have, as promised, another property in the Tierra Verde Ranchette subdivision. This one is CBNM-0001D. 3 acres, priced at $5,900. As you can imagine, I will have a video up on the website tonight where I will prattle on at length about this land. That being said, let me pull it up on the map here. I'll just have you guys know this one's in Unit 5. The last one was in Unit 6. Unit 6, a little more densely forested over here. This one from Google Maps looks like there are 3 shrubs on the property, or 4. That's not the case. That's just sort of what shows up on Google Earth. But I know some of you are really in love with trees. You like a lot of trees on your property. Me personally, I could take or leave trees. That's why I live in the desert. But this property, little less vegetation than the last one. So if that is something that's a deal breaker for you, just an FYI. This one, of course, very flat, very easy to build on. There is vegetation out here. You got some nice views of the nearby mountains and the Cibola National Forest, etc. Of course, these properties are notable because they are surrounded not only by the Cibola National Forest, making them nice hunting sort of staging areas, campground staging areas, places you could build a hunting cabin, or just places you can go out and, camp and park on the weekends, having a nice, healthy chunk of land, 5-acre recreational spot all to yourself. Additionally, you are surrounded, sandwiched really, between a whole bunch of great national and state parks out here, such as, here we go, I'm going to rattle off the list, Ice Caves and the Bandera Volcano, the El Malpais National Monument, Chain of Craters Wilderness Study Area, Chaco Canyon, it doesn't show up on the map, but Chaco Canyon's out there, and it's pretty cool. The Rama Reservoir, Blue Water Lake State Park, so on and so forth, as well as hundreds of thousands of acres to go hunt critters. Anywho, point being, this one, it's a good-looking property, and we're going to have more photos there. We've got the drone, and then down here, I am also supplying driving directions to you. That video will be live later tonight, as well as heavily annotated photographs of the entire route that you're going to take to get out to this property. Don't normally do this. Normally, these properties are a little easier to find, a little easier to identify on a map, a little easier to rely on Google Maps for. This one, however, is not. And you need some good guidance to get out there, so we have supplied that. Yet one of the many services that we've provide here at HemingwayLand.com. Whatever the case, just an FYI, there's 2 routes into this property. One's over here on the west and one's on the east, and the one on the west has gates, 2 gates, and a crusty rancher who controls the gates and changes the gate codes regularly. So we gave you the easier way with no gates, and it's actually closer. It's over here entering from the east, but detailed instructions in that video. Whatever the case, much like the last property that we had in Tierra Verde, Cibola County, their zoning authority defers to the covenants and restrictions within the sub, and this sub has 0. They expired in the 90s. So whatever you want to do out there, you're going to be able to do. That's number 1. Next up, we've got 3 properties in Socorro County, everybody's favorite Socorro County, where they have no zoning regulation at all out there. And also, these are in Rio Grande Estates, where there are no covenants or restrictions. It should be noted, guys, there's 2 subs out there. They have similar names. Rancho Rio Grande is on the west side of the I-25. It's where we get those 5-acre lots that we sell for $2,500. These are a bunch of 1-acre lots in Rio Grande Estates. All of this subdivision is chopped up into 1-acre lots, and these we typically sell for around $1,500. This is actually a typo. This should say $1,600. I'll correct that later. Whatever the case, these are respectively SCNM 5318, SCNM 7168, and SCNM 4117. Let's start with this one where we had the typo. This is a $1,600 property. It's very close to the 60. It's got power at the lot line. If you bring this up on the map, the first thing I'll just point out to you here, all these properties are in Unit 1. If you were to look at a plat map of the subdivision, Unit 1 sits down here really close to the 60. It's like Unit 1, Unit 2, 14, 15, 16. And that's typically where I like to buy in this sub, because that's where you're going to find power. That's where you're going to find the best maintained roads, because there's power and people live there and they drive around there all the time. The further and further north and south you go within this sub, north of the 60 or south of the 60, you're not going to find that as much. So it's why I like to concentrate the acquisitions down here. This first property, 4117, power at the lot line right here off of Sandoval. If we take the little guy right here and put him here on the map, you can look up Sandoval Road and you can see, well, basically what you'll see in the photo gallery, which is, hey, look at that, well-maintained road. Anybody can drive it, any type of vehicle. It's called Garcia here. It's called something else on the plat map, Sandoval, I think. Whatever the case, utilities going up and down, et cetera, et cetera. This property has kind of a neighbor next to it to its north. It's a 1-acre chunk of land. 1 acre is a healthy piece of property in which you're probably not even going to know the other guys there. That being said, if you are the type who does not like neighbors, check out 7168. This one is also in Unit 1, a little further north in the subdivision, but it's got power at the lot line, as you can see right here. And there's some people who are living out in this area, some, I don't know, home sites that are out in this area, so power going to these places. Additionally, when you pull back on this region right here, you see a lot of people living out here, so it suggests that the water table is fairly accessible. Additionally, all of this green over here suggests to me that the water table is fairly accessible. So if drilling a well on the property is something that you're thinking about, I would suspect you'll be able to do it out there. That being said, as always, we recommend that you talk to the local zoning authority out there. Hey, by the way, let's look at pictures of the land. This property is notable because it's got a bit of a pitch to it. It's got a bit of an incline. There's a lot of flat ground on this that you can build on, but this is a fairly flat subdivision, and to see a property like this that kind of rises up over its neighbors is, you know, kind of special. And of course, you're going to have better views of the valley, better views of the Manzano Mountains out here, et cetera, et cetera. It should be noted, all of these properties have legal access. All these properties are ones you can drive to. That first one I showed you, it's a little bit easier because it's basically right off a semi-paved road. This one, the road, let me see, first photo. The road looks like this. It's a quote-unquote road, okay? It's one of these where the county doesn't maintain it a lot. It doesn't get driven up and down a lot, but it's a fairly arid climate out there, so there's not a lot that's growing over it. Point being, according to my photographer, you will have easy access to the property, whatever kind of vehicle you're driving. He suggested a truck is probably better. Duh. But nonetheless, easily accessible and power going up and down this road. This road, by the way, I believe is, what is it called? Maldonado, I think. Hang on, guys. No, Gerardo Ave. There you go. Anyway, the property on Maldonado is the next one I'm going to show you. It's 5318. And in case you're saying, hey, Hemingway, did you recycle that photo from a previous? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. The photos in the gallery are all photos from the property. That being said, our photographer shot 3 in one day, and the photos came back kind of similar, so I had to use a different one. Anyway, this is your entrance right here off Highway 60 out to the property. This is what passes for a road out here. It looks like there's some property markers on this. I'm not pitching this to you guys as, oh, it's been surveyed and staked. I mean, At one point in time it was, but I can't guarantee that all those stakes are out there, and my photographer usually doesn't roam the entire length of the land looking for these things. Additionally, some, it should be noted, are easier to find than others. This is a giant thing sticking out of the ground. They're not all like that. Power's pretty close by, roughly about a quarter of a mile away, but not on the property. So for those of you who are looking to experiment with solar, this may be a better choice for you than the ones that have it at the lot line. And for those of you who want nothing to do with solar broke up my first marriage, then you should go with the properties that have the power at the lot line, etc. This one, by the way, because I didn't pull it up on a map, is back here. First one's really close down here to the highway. The other two are basically in this area. But as noted, you're accessing here off this Guadalupe Ave and then making your way up to the side roads. Guadalupe Ave, a.k.a. Escobar Street, a.k.a. whatever it's called 10 feet later, is a very easy road to drive on, so you should have little difficulty with that. Oh my God, guys, 10 minutes of me talking about properties. Point being, we got a lot of good ones this week, and we're focusing specifically because we get so many requests for it. For no covenants, no restrictions, no HOAs, no dues. Nobody wants to pay dues throughout the year, so on and so forth. So these are 4 good properties that you all should take a look at, particularly if that is something that interests you. With all that said, I have gone on way too long. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in next week's video.